After months worth of backlash for Amazon's Rings of Power series, they finally came out with a full-length teaser trailer, and it went exactly the same way. Already hit with a massive wave of downvotes. You can see as we speak, 236,000 down to 63,000 upvotes. That's with 10 million views. Shockingly enough, I went to go to the first trailer that got released. Dislikes are temporarily unavailable. I've never seen that before ever, but we know it was well over 1 million dislikes. It's clear that Lord of the Rings fans have absolutely rejected everything that Amazon wants to do with the works of J.R.R. Tolkien and destroy and bastardize his universe. But now we're hearing a rumor about one of the key things that may have happened along the way to allow this to even occur. Rumor, Lord of the Rings scholar Tom Shippey fired for telling Prime Video they're polluting the lore. And even though I consider myself a Tolkien fan and a Lord of the Rings fan, I'm by no means an expert like so many other content creators that are out there. I just like the stories. I wouldn't consider myself an expert. And even I knew the name Tom Shippey. Even I knew that he was one of the most acclaimed Tolkien scholars in the world. And when he was removed from the project, when he left the project, that sent warning signs to everybody that why would they get rid of Tom Shippey? Like, Tom Shippey is a guy you should absolutely have working alongside you on this project to make sure you're doing it the right way. When Amazon got rid of him, it was a warning sign, and everybody should have listened to it. A new rumor claims that Tom Shippey, the Lord of the Rings scholar and former consultant on Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, was fired from the Prime Video show because he was warning them that they were, quote, polluting the lore. When Prime Video first announced the Lord of the Rings series in July 2019, they revealed Shippey was part of the production as a Tolkien scholar. However, back in February, Vanity Fair led their readers to believe that Shippey was canned for giving a, quote, unsanctioned interview to a German fan site where he opined on what the show could and could not explore. Now this new rumor comes from YouTuber George Molo, and George the Giant Slayer has been doing awesome work on his channel, been growing it in a lot of ways due to the Lord of the Rings stuff. So he has people reaching out to him about what's going on, just like so many of us do in this space. But he claims that Shippey was actually canned because he was warning Prime Video that they were, quote, polluting the lore. I now believe the real reason that Tom Shippey was fired wasn't because he gave some interview. That's something you get a slap on the wrist for. It's because I heard from 3 separate sources he would weekly tell the twins of Payne and McKay, so the showrunners, that Prime was polluting the lore. Not only would Molo detail this rumor regarding Shippey's firing, but he would also excoriate Prime Video for including nudity in the show, as he revealed a number of behind-the-scenes photos from production, as well as a newly released photo from the show. So obviously, that's a completely separate thing, separate from, you know, Tom Shippey being fired, but might have played into it, the fact that maybe you did have somebody there sitting there warning people, you know, this isn't what Tolkien would have wanted. He wrote specifically contrary to a lot of these things. We know what they're doing in bastardizing the timeline, what they've done to these characters by creating new characters that really never existed. We know that they never existed, but they're being created and inserted into this story for Amazon's diversity reasons. But all of this begins to make a lot of sense because indeed, as we've talked about, as so many people like Gary from Nerdrotic, he talked about it when Tom Shippey got fired, that should have set alarm bells off in everyone's heads, because one of the most well-respected Tolkien scholars out there who was working on the project all of a sudden gets fired. Maybe it is because he was sitting there and telling them time and time again, you can't do this. This goes completely contrary to what Tolkien wrote, what Tolkien wanted, what these books say, and what we're allowed to do. They likely didn't want to hear it, and they got rid of him. Now, again, it's just a rumor at this point, but it's one that makes a lot of sense for people that have been following along with this entire thing. And when you factor in why he reportedly was fired, right, for simply saying, well, there's some things we can cover and some things we can't cover, that doesn't make sense at all. Amazon has a big uphill climb to go. People clearly despise what they're doing. Tolkien fans are not going to stay quiet about this. And the more things like this that start to come out, the more firm all Tolkien fans are going to be in their stance to reject what Amazon is trying to give them. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.